So for those of you, I don't know if people will be watching this later when I might repost it later. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm just a busy girl who took a leap of faith, and I invested in my own mental and physical growth, and ultimately was able to find my passion, or find my freedom, so to speak, in the wellness industry. And now I help others do the same. But besides being a business mentor, I also wear some other hats, such as I'm a personal trainer, a Group X instructor, and an online fit life coach. So you'll hear that a lot from entrepreneurs, that they kind of wear many hats and they have many businesses. That's very common. But today I'm actually leaving for an 11-day trip to visit a friend in Israel who's also created a life of freedom. And while I get told very often that I'm lucky or blessed or that it must be nice, I wanted to share equally about the hard truths that that come along with entrepreneurship, just to kind of balance out the highlight reel that most people see on social media. I mean, let's be honest here, life is not all rainbows and butterflies, or in my case, it's not a bunch of 2-week-long trips of a lifetime. There's 52 weeks in the year. So today I just wanted to really quickly go live and share with you guys that I'm not lucky. And I wanted to talk about the 5 hard truths about becoming an entrepreneur. Thanks for the love, guys. So here we are. Number 1, it's not easy, but it's totally worth it. So let me explain. There's a lot of sacrifices that happen when you want to own your own business. In the short run, sometimes you have to, there's many sacrifices that have to be made in the short run. Now, that's not always the case in the long run. Once you're able to build your business and optimize some of your responsibilities, it can get a lot easier. But in the beginning, there is a lot of sacrifice. So your work-life balance sometimes can be a little bit more drastic, or shall I say unbalanced, compared to just doing like a normal 9-to-5 job. But that's not to say, listen, and nothing in life is truly balanced. So there's always a give and take. It's just that in the short run, it might be a little bit more of work, rather than being able to enjoy every single part of it. Number 2, you will not have all wins in the very beginning. The road is very full of a bunch of failures, and it's sort of like I always explain to people, if you look on a graph, it's sort of like up and down, up and down, up and down. And then slowly, yes, it's, you keep building and growing, but there's 2 steps back for every 1 step forward, it seems like sometimes. Just like life, right? I know that everybody says that about life. Well, entrepreneurship is sort of the same way. Number 3, in my opinion, is that yes, it can be expensive. And I like to always say it's expensive in time, that is. So for a lot of people, and I'm not going to go into details here about the many different types of businesses that you can start, but there's a lot of businesses that you can start that cost very little to nothing to start. Oftentimes, even people who find hobbies to begin with end up doing something with it, right? So maybe if you like to knit, it doesn't cost you much to start knitting, right? And suddenly you can open an Etsy store online, right? So it can be more expensive in the time that it takes you to start building in the beginning. So I always try to explain that. Now, that's not to say there are businesses where you can go and, purchase a franchise for a Subway and probably spend $200,000 up front. That's a little different. But I just wanted to share that to me, I always say, yes, it's expensive in time, but not in money. It doesn't have to be. Where a lot of people have that idea that like, oh, it takes money to make money, and that's not true. Number 4, your mindset is the foundation of everything else you do. So for me, I invest in myself more than I invest in anything else. So that's my own mental well-being, my own health. Probably, I don't know if behind me you can see, I read a lot of personal and professional development books. I take a lot of courses. So that doesn't stop. I keep doing that. Because life will happen around you, and if you don't have a strong enough reason, or you don't know yourself well enough and how you deal with situations that are going to happen around you, because let's face it, they always will, then life will get in the way. And if you don't have a strong enough reason to keep you moving forward, you will give up on your goals. And people will not like you, or people will talk down to you. I've had friends that say like, oh my gosh, my family tries to like talk me out of like me doing a business. Like, what's that about? Like, why is it that people want to tell you every reason why you can't accomplish something that you want? So things like that do happen, and it's up to you to be the person to have a strong enough mind to keep moving forward anyway. Number 5, consistency is key. And I know you probably hear this all the time when it comes to like any goal, right? Like, let's even talk, I'm a fitness coach. Let's talk about like fitness. If you didn't work out 5-6 times a week and be consistent with that, you're probably not going to get results, right? Well, if you don't do the same with your business, same thing will happen. Now I know a lot of people start out a business as a hobby, and they don't realize, right? A lot of us get into like our passion by kind of stumbling upon it and doing it as a hobby first. And that's okay. And then eventually when you do say like, okay, this is going to be a full-time business for me, you have to show up every single day, no matter what, and do sometimes the stuff that's not sexy and not fun, but that's the part that takes discipline. And if you have that, if you work that mental muscle, you will succeed. So that's it. Those are my 5 hard truths about becoming an entrepreneur. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. I hope you found my realness about this really helpful today, and I'll see you next time.